Today, Donald Trump was sworn in as the 45th President of the United States. And as you know, I'm not the biggest fan, but for his supporters, this is a momentous day. And I got to thinking, not only for his supporters though, however, is this momentous, because this has happened every 4 years since 1789 with the inauguration of George Washington. It's a tradition that exemplifies the peaceful transition of power in America. And there's nowhere else in the world that such a momentous and well choreographed ceremony, which is changing power, has ever happened besides right here in the United States. So it is celebratory no matter which side of the aisle you sit on. Not necessarily for a particular candidate, but for the fact that tradition, history, and the voice of the American people is actually heard. But I know, the election was rigged. And while you're still stuck on that premise after the fact that conversation is really no longer valid, because this nightmare isn't a dream and the Donald really does reside in the White House. There hasn't been a bigger critic of Donald Trump than myself. From sharing a bed with the Clintons, from being a liberal on pretty much every single issue that he's ever taken up, and then one day he says, I'm gonna run for President of the United States. I'll take a crack at it. But for those of us who haven't been the biggest fans of Donald Trump, what do we do now? Well, I suggest hoping and praying he is successful is the only thing that we can really do. I will be the first one to admit that I'm wrong if he ends up being the next Reagan, but I just don't see it happening based off his past. Yes, people make mistakes, and people fall, and people degrade others, and people support immoral ideologies that have been flaunted from liberal Democrats, and... well, you get the point, don't you? But however, like I said, people do change. I just find it extremely hard to believe that a habit being practiced for so many years can just stop. Ask a smoker how hard it is to quit smoking. Ask an alcoholic how hard it is to put the bottle down. It's a vicious cycle that's extremely hard to break, but there are a few who do break it, and I'm one who's hoping that Donald Trump is that person. I'm going to call it White House rehab. If you can keep your promises of quitting, good, great, that's what we want. But if you don't, you get kicked out. So this is my Donald John Trump intervention. I'm hoping he does make America great again, and I really do. I guess I'm just that pessimistic uncle who has his hand in his pants sitting on the couch who says, that kid will never change. Prove me wrong, Donald, and please, please bring my country back.